When there's Doctor Strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? S.H.I.E.L.D. Busters. What is up YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to do something a little different and hopefully fun. So don't take this one too seriously. With that, there are a few things I want to say before we begin. And first of all, this video is brought to you in part by Agent Seraph1. So let's hear it for him.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Secondly, and this one is kind of important, in this video we are using some older footage, so it's before the level cap. The video also predates the bursting augmented ISO 8, which really makes a huge difference when combating shields. This AISO basically allows anyone with a ranged action to destroy shields and prevents them from being reapplied. So as you can imagine, this turns many heroes, especially those with AoE ranged attacks, into absolute shield busters. However, like I said, for this video, we're going with some old school bruisers, namely Thundra and Juggernaut. So why are we using these two? Well, first of all, Thundra does have a special passive ability, and the name of this one is Wall Breaker. This says she performs a follow-up attack against characters with protect or shield effects. Then she also has very nice synergy with Juggernaut, mainly because of her level 6 Perfect Storm. This is her big finisher, and it's an unarmed melee attack which also has Finest Hour. So yes, even though this team does have a very specific connection, it does also have enough synergy to just work. Now another thing that I love about Thundra is the fact that her tempestuous augmented ISO 8 will cause her to preemptively attack with Rolling Thunder when you're using Cyclone Smash. Then when you add in her Wall Breaker passive, she's one of the characters that can do the rare triple attack. So basically against a shielded opponent or a protector, she'll start with the Rolling Thunder, then do her Cyclone Smash, and she'll finish her combo with her level 1 Lightning Round. Of course, the character on this team that actually has the Shield Breaker ability is none other than the Juggernaut, and his Mountain Crusher packs a punch. Not only that, now the enemy agent with his Shield Breaker debuff can no longer be shielded even by Invisible Woman, whether she has her pressurized EISO or not. In fact, it wouldn't even matter if he was already shielded, it's going to break it and prevent it from being reapplied. Also, just in case you were wondering about my agent, we are using Apocalypse's Subjugator. This weapon has Brutal Strike, applies off balance, and most importantly for this team, it exploits protection and shields. So there you have it, the Shield Busters. With their agent down and Invisible Woman not really being a threat, this fight becomes stress-free rather than extremely frustrating. In fact, the most difficult thing about this video was finding the shield teams. And if you don't believe me, just watch this Mountain Crusher. We hit Invisible Woman for a decent amount of damage, but most importantly we apply the Shield Breaker debuff. So then as you can see, she has no shield and we can completely dot her up, or just throw whatever debuffs we have at her in general. Then since Falcon still has his shield, we're going to use Apocalypse's Subjugator on him, and hopefully we can exploit it for some extra damage. Unfortunately, he's still going to counterattack because Invisible Woman's EISO still works for him, at least until we put that Shield Breaker debuff on him. Luckily for us, Swoop really doesn't do that much damage. But then Invisible Woman also attacks our agent, but since she is a blaster, all she does is give us an extra turn. So with that, I'm going to use the Light Fantastic and make sure we clear all our team's debuffs, as well as give them Mirror Reality as a safety net. Then with Thundra, I'm going to try her big damage ability on Invisible Woman, and as you're about to see, it can be a really nasty attack. Just imagine if we would have had any Paragon Exploiter debuffs on her, it would have done so much more damage. Still, it does knock her all the way down to 14,000 HP. So after Falcon attacks, I'm going to use the Juggernaut's level 6, Don't You Know Who I Am? I'm the Juggernaut. And that ability easily knocks out the Invisible Woman. So next up with my agent, first off he does dodge a Trick Arrow and that's pretty lucky. So we're going to use Momentary Advantage, followed by the third seal. And then after that, we're going to use one more attack from Apocalypse's Subjugator. I figure we might as well try to exploit his shields one last time. But unfortunately, he does dodge and counters with a 10k swoop. Then I went ahead and used the Improbability Field just to check if Invisible Woman's EISO persisted even after her death. Unfortunately, other than Despair from the third seal, it looks like Falcon doesn't have any other debuffs. But the good news is we get to see Thundra's triple attack. She starts with Rolling Thunder, and she's going to end it with Lightning Round. Just like we expected, this team makes shielded enemies pay. And speaking of paying up, right after Falcon attacks, we're going to use our Mountain Crusher, and this attack will absolutely destroy him, shield and all. So say goodnight to the bad guy. 60,000 damage, and that's how this one ends. Then moving on to our second and final shielded battle, this time we're facing Rescue and Gamora. Of course, Rescue is the big pain character, and she absolutely loves shields, as well as protecting, so Thundra with her Wall Breaker passive is going to love Rescue. I'm going to start out by using our first seal, and by the way, what this does besides removing buffs from the other team, is it's going to lock in our buffs from Neurotrope, as well as Surge of Sidorak. Thundra, because of her E-ISO, has Indomitable Spirit, but of course Juggernaut and my agent definitely need that buff protection. Now right after Rescue finishes her turn, you're going to see something very interesting that happens with Thundra. So yes, this does happen from time to time if she is facing multiple protectors. What happens is when you start out with her Cyclone Smash on one target, she will do her Preemptive Strike with Rolling Thunder, and then right after this the other protector will step in and they'll actually take the Cyclone Smash. So here you'll see the agent step up, and because of that she ends up stunning him. Now since the Juggernaut's up next, I'm going to use Surge of Sidorak, and I'm actually going to go ahead and focus on the enemy agent. So how we're going to go about this is we're actually going to target Rescue, and this will cause the Protect agent to step up. Now there's a nice little Mountain Crusher for his trouble. Next, Gamora targets Juggernaut, and she uses her Mortal Strike. Because of the Neurotrope, we're going to counter once with the Sunday Punch. Unfortunately, this doesn't even break her shield. I know that's kind of a bad look for shield busters, but what are you gonna do? It was a counterattack. Then with my agent I use the Blackest Void, and we'll just get rid of those shields altogether. Then after that we'll use the Light Fantastic as a quick action, and we can still use the second seal of Aknazak. I'll go ahead and let the other team live for now. But seriously, we'll take them out soon enough. What I'm kind of worried about is getting to our third seal, and then we can place Despair and shut off Rescue's healing. Right away Disoriented kicks in and she does hit her own Gamora. But of course Gamora dodges it. Next up on our team is going to be Thundra, and this time around we're going to use our level 2, so that's going to be a Rolling Thunder attack. I'm still trying to take out the enemy agent, so hopefully on his turn he doesn't heal too much. Well actually never mind, he's going to use Blade the Guardian and he hits his own Rescue. So with Juggernaut's Catastrophic level 6 we can target the enemy agent, and there's nothing they can do about it. That finishes him off, and now we only have Gamora and Rescue to go. She does use Demoralizing Shout, which is one of my most hated abilities, at least when the enemy's using it. Right away we get hit with Cower, which actually appears to ruin the third seal. So I have to say that was pretty awful. So we're going to use Improbability Field, and then hopefully we can still knock Rescue out. On her turn she uses Protector Protocol, and then she just recharges. So hey, we'll take it, and not only that, we're going for the triple play once again. Since Rescue is a protector and a shield abuser, we easily proc our Wall Breaker passive. Then after that, a Mountain Crusher attack is going to seal the deal. This of course only leaves Gamora, and so on her turn she's going to use, well apparently it's going to be a Whirlwind. You can actually tell right away once your Doom procs. This is due to something called Demise, which is on her level 6 Whirlwind, and it says causes Doom to trigger immediately. But still, with Thundra we're going to soften her up with a Perfect Storm, and then I'm going to use a Mountain Crusher. Sadly this doesn't do as much damage as I would have liked, and so on her turn she executes the Juggernaut. But luckily she has under 4,000 health remaining, and our next attack is going to end the fight. It's also going to end this video, so I hope you all enjoyed it, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, good luck and take care.